Hey, Tony Gaskins here. My wife got me a little thing that plug into my what you call that, air vent. And Coach Wise had got me a thing that hook onto the steering wheel. So I'm trying different little things, but I wanted to pop in and talk to you because sometimes you're gonna hit walls in life and you're gonna feel like that you cannot change. You're gonna feel like that life is not changing for you, that you're not getting better, that you can't get better. And you're gonna feel impulses and urges and things that just go back to your old ways, your old habits, and things you want to think, things you want to say, things you want to do. You're gonna go through that, and you may just keep hitting the wall. And I'm speaking from experience here, like all of my videos, and just sharing with you in case you get ready to go through that, or you going through that. And you're gonna see a cycle. You'll see a cycle of your behaviors, your limiting behaviors or damaging behaviors, and I want you to realize this is not just one thing. So I'm not just talking about one trait, because for one person it may be communication, for another person it may be how they eat, for another person it may be their sex life, how they don't value their body. So we're just talking about the behavior, whatever it may be, a thought, a habit. You're gonna see this cycle, and in this cycle you will feel a release. You'll feel a release, and the release comes from you doing whatever it is you're doing because of the pressure that you feel that you're not addressing. But when you look at the pressure, there's always other release valves when you're dealing with pressure. So prayer may be a release valve. Exercise may be a release valve. Getting therapy, counseling, coaching may be a release valve. There's other things. Changing your behavior in other ways may be a release valve. So there's other things that you can do. So let's say you have casual sex. Let's say you got your old meat leg appointment every month, at least once a month. You got to get something put on you. Or let's say you eat bad and you comfort food. You eat for comfort. Or you get drunk, or you binge watch TV for hours and hours and hours on end and procrastinate and don't do what you're supposed to do. Whatever the behavior is, that behavior is coming from an unaddressed area in your life. And typically it's the pressure from an unaddressed issue, or it's the pressure put on you based on other choices you make. So you may overspend, and then after you overspend, you don't have the money you need to pay your bills, and then you feel pressure, and then you have to go get a release. But it's a toxic release. And this is where we hit the wall as humans. This is what we keep butting our head on. And this is why I want to address this, because this is a human thing. This is a human thing. And we gotta find a way. We have to find a way. And you gotta be creative. Because, therapy is good, but it's not the end all be all. And I'll just be honest with you, from my experiences as a life coach, is several of my clients have been people who come to me and said, I've been in therapy for 10 years, 15 years, it hasn't helped, or it hasn't worked. Because it's not going to work unless you work. It's not a end-all be-all. It is a supplement. It's to inspire change, to enact change. It's to get you in a place to where you can operate around that. In addition to that, you can put other things in place that's going to benefit you. And this is extremely hard when you're trying to break the cycle and you're trying to do something different, because your mind plays tricks on you. It's going to, there's a release. There's a chemical release into your bloodstream from stimulants. And when that chemical release goes into your bloodstream, you feel differently. So you may feel calm, relaxed. You may feel happy. You may feel numb. You may feel excited. It's different ways that you may feel, but when you feel that, it takes off the edge. So it takes off the edge, but that release only lasts in the bloodstream for so long. So it's no different than people who use drugs or smoke or drink. They're getting a release, but release, it can last 5 minutes. Depending on the dose, how strong it is, could last 10 minutes. Maybe for some people, 30 minutes to an hour. But the more you have that release, the more your body gets accustomed to it and it can process it. And I'm just talking common sense here, not science now. I ain't no doctor. I'm just explaining it to you logically. And so now that's why the tolerance goes up. So instead of having 4 Oreos, next thing you know, you at 6, then you at 8, then you at 12. And it's like, man, how could I eat 4 Oreos 6 months ago and feel full, feel satisfied, and now I feel like I gotta have 12 of them to get that same, satisfaction? It's because your body done got accustomed to that little sugar dump you getting, that little dopamine dump, and it need more. That's why every addiction gets stronger. So you have to understand this, and when you understand it, now you can start to combat it. Now you can start to do differently, move a little differently. And this is not easy work. It's not easy work at all. It takes prayer, time, supplication, dedication, and you have to find a release valve that is beneficial. So if you're feeling stress, what kind of cool down technique can you do when you're feeling stressed? Y'all gotta forgive me, I'm still tired because I'm on a new routine. I normally wake up and go back to sleep, but I've been getting up when I wake up, so my body's still adjusting to this. What can you do when you feel this and you need to do something about it? Can you call somebody? Got an accountability partner you can call? Can you go work out, do some exercise? I want you to start thinking about this and just really thinking like, what exactly can I do when I'm feeling this? Do I go into prayer? Do I write something down and have it that I can, go to and read? And I can read this letter that I wrote myself. What can I do to ease my mind, to take my mind off some things, and to bring me a little ease. What can I do? And you have to be creative. And you got to go through and you got to look at your personality. So it's like this right here. If I feel stressed or I'm feeling a certain way, if I talk to my dad, that's something that'll calm me down. He knows my language. He could speak to me. He could calm me down. That's a release for me. If I say I'm gonna go run, that's gonna stress me more because I hate running. Lift weights, I possibly could go lift weights, punch the heavy bag with my boxing gloves. Write, I need to have a clear mind to be able to write. I'm not a stress writer. Listen to music. If it's a song out there, I could turn that song on and listen to that, and that'll calm me down. That'll get me in a good mood. That'll help me. That'll lift my spirits. And I'll put the same song and just put it on repeat and just let it play for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. That's it. And so I want you to think about and go through, okay, I'm hitting this wall. I'm hitting this wall. What do I need to do to calm down, to get myself centered, to get back to where I need to be? And write this down if you need to, so you have this plan. And the other thing I want you to realize, y'all got to forgive it now. I'm over here tired. I'm preaching and teaching. Over here tired. The other thing you got to realize is you have to change. You have to change. You have to grow. And you have to come to the resolve of the fact that you can no longer remain the same. And there's always something that we need to address. So even as I'm speaking, I'm thinking, what do I have to change? What do I have to address? Because stuff will eventually catch up to you. It'll catch up to you. It'll add up. There is compound interest on this stuff. And so we have to understand that. And in life and with choices and actions, this compound interest could be positive or negative. This compound interest could be a negative thing in the sense of, if you continue to act out a certain way, it could ruin a relationship, ruin a friendship. It can cost you your job. If you continue to eat a certain way, it can cost you your health. You can get diabetes and, this and that. And so as you start to think about this and you start to process, you know what? If I do this thing, if I continue to do this thing, what is the result? What is the result of this? And you have to go through your mind and you have to add the compound interest in your mind. So as you add this compound interest in your mind, you're able to just walk yourself through it. Okay, so if I'm sugar binging every day, every other day, I'm sugar binging. Okay, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna have high blood sugar. I'm gonna catch diabetes. And I'm gonna die untimely death. Okay, if I keep tearing down this person, I just keep criticizing them, keep tearing them down, what's gonna happen? They're gonna cut me off. They're gonna leave me. They're gonna cut ties. They're gonna move on with their life, and I'm gonna lose this person, whoever it may be, friend, family member, spouse, cousin, whatever. You go through that. And then you could do the reverse. You could do the opposite. And you could say, okay, if I eat healthy, balanced meals every day with the nutrients that I need, what is going to happen? I'm going to get fit. I'm going to lose unnecessary weight, excess weight. I'm going to regulate my body. I'm going to nourish my body, and my body's going to get what it needs to function. And it's going to benefit me. Like, balanced, nutritious meals cannot hurt me. Balance, meaning the right portions. You're not overeating. Because, like, yeah, you can eat healthy, but if you just sitting there eating like a Mack truck, it still could add up. It'll be hard to overeat veggies. You can, one young lady shared her story of drinking too much water. She thought she had to drink a gallon of water a day. Went to the doctor and found out that because she was only 105 pounds, she was only supposed to be drinking 50 ounces of water, 52.5 ounces of water, and she was drinking a gallon. So it was giving her water, something she said, sepsis or scoliosis. She was water drunk, basically. And I done felt that. Go to drinking so much water, start to get lightheaded. It's like your organs are in there floating. And so now we can do things to excess, but we have to find a healthy balance. But not, so if you ask yourself, okay, I'm sitting here smoking. I'm sitting here smoking. If I'm smoking every day, what is eventually going to happen? Yes, I'm relieving my stress. I'm talking in first person for the person watching, but I don't put all this on me because I don't do all this, okay? But I'm just understand that now. I'm relieving my stress momentarily, but then I need to smoke again. But then I need to smoke again. And yes, what I'm smoking may not be as bad as this over here. I ain't smoking spice. I ain't smoking angel dust. I ain't smoking PCP, heroin. But what I'm smoking, it still has a bad side to it. So what is it doing? It's affecting my esophagus. It's affecting my lungs. It's affecting my brain chemistry. It may be a slow thing. It may be killing me slowly. And so it's benefiting me. It's giving me 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Or 5 steps forward, 6 steps back. And the effects of it is long term. It's slow going. It don't just put me in a casket right away. It eats away at me, slowly but surely. And so that's what you have to, right there. Smoking. If I'm working out, a moderate workout, 30 minutes a day, what's going to happen? I'm going to lose excess weight. I'm going to strengthen my heart, increase my heart health. I'm going to boost my confidence. My body's going to change. My mind is going to be clearer. I'm going to think more clearly because I'm giving myself time to think. I'm giving myself time to process. And so I want you to think about that. And so I want you to go down the list. Okay, if you're not married and you're having sex, you're having unprotected sex, and you ask yourself, if I keep doing this, what is going to happen? I'm going to end up getting someone pregnant, or I can end up catching the STD. I'm developing spiritual ties, soul ties, as they call it. And I'm putting my life at risk because I don't know who the person I'm sleeping with is sleeping with. So if I'm not married, even if this person is my boyfriend, girlfriend, somebody I'm with, I'm still putting myself at risk because they could be doing stuff outside of our relationship and me not be aware of it. And by me sleeping with them, I'm putting myself at risk because I don't know them well enough, because obviously I ain't good enough for us to be married yet. Meaning we ain't in a good enough place for us to be married yet. That's a sign. If you're not married, you're not in a relationship, and you sleeping with an ex, or you sleeping casually, you sleeping with different people, you got to ask yourself, okay, what's the compound interest? How is this going to pay dividends? What are the dividends going to look like from this? Soul ties, STDs, pregnancies, and or abortions. Point blank period. So as you start to go down the list, you start to see, okay, I see now. So when you do this reasonable deducting and you doing your risk assessment analysis and you going down the list, now what you're going to be able to do is X off certain behaviors. You're going to say, okay, although this smoking gives me a buzz or gives me a high and it calms me down, ultimately I can end up with a throat cancer or lung cancer or a degenerative brain because of the compound effects over 10, 20, 30 years. And get on the line and do the research. Look up the research and see about it. And now you know, okay, I need to X this out. I need to X this out. Sex outside of marriage. Yes, it gives me a release. I feel good. That dopamine, that oxytocin, that bonding chemical, it hit my bloodstream. I feel good. But I'm developing secret feelings for this person that I cannot have, that I'm not married to. I'm also taking on their spirits that I don't know what all they picking up out here. I'm also putting myself at risk because I could end up bringing a baby into the world with somebody who we're not even on the same page to get married. I also could end up getting hurt by somebody else who want them, and they playing with both of us or all three of us. So now when you start to look at the compound effects of sex outside of marriage, you start to realize, oh, this is not worth it. It's not adding up. Now, 8 glasses of water a day, 8 times 8 is 64, right? 64, that's 64 ounces. 64 is half of 128. So if you're 128 pounds or more, you should be drinking at least 64 ounces. That's 8 ounce cups of water a day, at least. And so if you're doing that, boom. So imagine now, okay, keep my water, working out. So now you done X'd out smoking. You done X'd out sex outside of marriage. You done X'd out flirting outside of your marriage if you married, because of the compound effects of that leading to an affair. You done X'd out overeating. Oh, if I'm consistently eating fried foods like I'm doing now, what's going to happen? High cholesterol, diabetes, heart failure, early death. So cutting out fried foods, greasy foods, minimize them. At most once a month. You might get twice a month out of 31 days. Ain't nothing good, but we weaning off, okay? And so now, if you done cut out bad eating, you done cut out sex outside of marriage, you done cut out frivolousness, lasciviousness, You look at the compound effects of porn. You say this is detaching me from reality. It's causing addiction. It's blocking my blessings, hindering me from operating in the real world and appreciating a normal human being for being a normal human being, because I'm comparing them to like this fantasy, to this job, to this what this person has to do for a living to take care of themselves. So of course their body gonna be perfect, and not all of them body perfect, depending on what level of grade y'all be watching now, because I done seen some pictures out there. Woo. And so you look at that. So now you done cut out the bad eating. You done cut out the sex inside of marriage. You done cut out the smoking. You done cut out the porn. You done cut out the gambling. You done cut out the getting drunk, or the daily drinking, or drinking before bedtime, right at bedtime, thinking you finna calm down and relax yourself, but really you're messing up your sleep. I done heard sleep doctors talk about this. I used to think, oh, if I have a little glass of red wine, it's gonna calm my nerves, I'm gonna be able to go to sleep. No, you passing out. You numbing yourself, and you messing up your sleep because you're not actually getting quality sleep because you're inebriated. And so your body ain't really functioning, ain't really processing, going through the right cycle it need to go through. So now if you cut those things out and you look and you like, okay, I'm reading my Bible, because the compound effects of that is great. Exercising 30 minutes a day. I am abstaining from sex if I'm not married, or I'm being faithful in my marriage if I'm married. I am meditating or stretching or praying. When you look at this life, what is that life going to produce? What is it going to produce if you exercising, you working, you eating right, you sleeping right, you living right? What are you going to reap from the seeds that you are sowing? Can you reap bad from sowing good? No. This will effectively change your life. This will change your life. To get something different out, you got to put something different in. You got to. And when you move differently, you start to realize and see like, oh, wow, this is different, and this is affecting me. This is helping me. This is changing me. This is blessing me. My life getting better. So listen, it's different personalities. It's different stages. You know, right now I'm on something. You see, I'm tired because I'm waking up earlier. I'm going to bed earlier, but I'm waking up earlier. So my body is adjusting to waking up and getting up versus waking up and going back to sleep for an hour or 2 or 3. And so I'm tired. I also did not eat breakfast. I didn't eat breakfast because I was working out in the sauna, and I drank this shake, which is 100 calories. So I still have to work on making sure I get a full meal. And now I got an appointment at 10 to get a haircut. 10:30 to get a haircut, which is in 18 minutes. And so now I didn't eat, and now I'm on the run doing this. And then after this, I got to get on back. I think I got a coaching call at noon. So my hair ain't gonna get done till my haircut. It take 45 minutes, so I might be done 11:30, 11:15. What can I eat before noon that's healthy? So even right now, as I'm shooting this video, I'm still evaluating and seeing, okay, this is what I need to tweak here. This is what I need to tweak here. And this is the thing. You got the answers for me. I got the answers for you. We got to have the answers for ourselves. We got to have the answers for ourselves. Now, if you got the answers for me, don't put it in the comments. Make you a YouTube channel and say, hey, if you're struggling with meal preparation, let me show you how I meal prep. Boom. Eventually, now you're getting paid from showing what you know, from teaching what you know. And so that's a part of your life that you need to develop if you don't have that, because you need to create something that you can't be fired from. And I'm going to tell you right now, YouTube pays more than your job. Pays more than your job. Unfortunately. YouTube pays more than your job. So if you're not afraid to get on the camera, or if you're not afraid for your voice to be on the camera, even if you're not on the camera, then guess what? You need to learn how to get on YouTube. That's why I created the course, YouTube for Beginners, on TonyGastonAcademy.com. Get on over there, stop procrastinating. Stop procrastinating, go and get the course, and that's a part of your life you need to develop. Because it does you no good to just be a comment warrior. Does you no good just to be a comment warrior. You need to go ahead and activate and turn that gift, turn that knowledge into something that can also pay you. Instead of just giving away for free, let it pay you, because that's your gift, and we're supposed to make a living from our gifts. Our gifts will make room for us and bring us before great men. So says the Bible. Now, it's maybe talking about a physical gift like a present, but at the same time, the same thing your natural gifts does. It brings you before great people. So I want you to think about this and really get this in your spirit. And this what we own right now. This here teaching, this growing, these life lessons. Get it in your spirit and continue to work on yourself. Continue to push yourself. And now if you feel like you could do what I do, then make sure you get the YouTube course if you want to do YouTube, or if you want to do one-on-one coaching or coaching with couples, then make sure you go take the life coach certification and then join mymentor.life. And you also could join the coaches mastermind. And when you're in the coaches mastermind, then that's when I can help you get some clients, help you build your business. So, hey, thank y'all so much. God bless you. We got a coach that I just thought about who is really, really investing in herself. And I'm going to put the link in the description to her booking page. I think she on mymentor.life, but if not, she has maybe has a website. I'm going to put that link in there, and you get in touch with her and you get you a session. Get you a session either on confidence or self-love. She's a single woman, strong sister, just cut her hair, wearing a low cut like mine. So you know you strong because that you going against the grain. Not everybody does that. If every woman did it, okay, it wouldn't mean nothing, but it's a handful of women that'll, you know, cut their hair off and have them a fresh start. That takes strength. So this young lady, I don't know what area she got on mymentor.life, but that let me know she a confidence coach, she a self-love coach, and she's also a corporate coach. So if you're in corporate and you want to climb that ladder, she's climbed that ladder to 6 figures in the corporate world. If you want to climb that ladder, she can help you do that. Now listen, the reason why I'm doing this for her is, and she got on to me, she ain't like people to know, she in my year of coaching program, and that is monthly coaching. She's in the life coach mastermind. She took the life coach certification, and I believe she's on mymentor.life. When certain people come into certain circles, when people come into that year of coaching program with me, that's when I know they serious. That's when I know they serious and they worth their weight in gold. And that's when you invest in yourself on that level, it let me know that you're about to be a force to be reckoned with, and people need to learn from that, because we struggle with a scarcity mindset, and we hurt ourselves. We break ourselves down. But hey, this Tony Gaston, God bless you. I wanted to talk an hour, but my body tired. So hey, I'm gonna get used to this here routine. My body just adjusting. Like, hey, Tony, because it's different stroke for different folks. Some people talk about, oh, I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. Listen, me, I made millions of dollars sleeping in until 10 a.m. Let me tell you, it's different stroke for different folks. You do what worked for you. Right now, I'm in a different season, and it may just be a season. It don't necessarily mean it's a lifetime change, because it might not be for my brain. It might not be for my body. My brain having concussions may operate different than a brain that never had concussions, multiple concussions. So my brain may require more rest, more in the bed time, regenerating itself to be able to function, where somebody else never had any brain trauma, never had anything like that. It's a lot of people that can function on 4 hours of sleep consistently. It just their brain ain't went through as much or what have you. Just different genetic makeup, different makeup. I think they said it's 30% of people can function off of less than 6 hours of sleep consistently. 30% of humans. I think I seen a study. I think it was could function off 4 hours of sleep consistently. 30%. So that shows you sometimes people just built differently, and then necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's a different thing. So hey, God bless you. We'll talk soon. My haircut coming up in 10 minutes, and hey, turn your notifications on, cause these videos I'm gonna be pumping them out now. I'm gonna be pumping them out. Somebody commented the other day, man, Tony pumping these videos out. Listen, tomorrow ain't promised. Now, I ain't speaking nothing on myself. I'm just speaking a fact. Tomorrow ain't promised. So if you got a purpose, you better live it. If you got a purpose, you better stop procrastinating. You better live your purpose. You hear me? I want, when the Lord called me home, hopefully it ain't till after 100 years old, but when the Lord called me home, listen, I want to be able to go down in history in the top 10 catalog of wisdom online, the top 10 of life advice online. Top 10. I want to be in the top 10. Tell you that now. Tell you that now. So, hey, God bless you. And I'm going to tell you one more thing, too. I keep saying I'm finna go, but this is how my family, the Gaskins, we known for this. When I was growing up, my daddy will be in the car in reverse, and he'll talk for another hour to his brother. He'll back out to the street and talk for another hour. Before them 2 hours, he said bye in the house and talked for another hour. Came out the house, talked for another hour in the driveway. So this is just a Gaskins trait. Y'all got to forgive me. But what I was going to say to you, don't pray for me in the comments. Pray for me in your life. Put me on your prayer list. And don't tell me you're praying for me. Because you shouldn't want any clout for it or any recognition for it. You don't mention it in the comments. I don't want Pharisee prayers. I want real prayers from your mouth to God's ears. Because listen to me. With what God has tasked me to carry, it is heavy. It is heavy. And it comes with a battle. It comes with spiritual warfare. You hear me? It comes with spiritual warfare. And it's just different phases. It's different phases of war. Different battles that call for different things. It's just certain lands, certain battles you can sit up high, shoot your arrows, shoot your cannons off. Certain other lands, you got to get on the ground, go stealth mode, get behind the enemy walls. It's different tactics to war. And this spiritual warfare. So I have to go in different spaces. So y'all gonna see me on different podcasts, and you're gonna see me sitting down with people that you're gonna be like, Tony, I ain't think you'll sit down with her. I ain't think you'll go on that podcast. Listen, I got to go in different spaces and take a different message to try to help bring some balance. Nobody may hear it right then. The whole audience may be like, sure, man, we on that, we ain't. And then, boom, something happened in their life. Boom. They get rocked to their core. And they go to their outlet. And they see my interview that they ignored because they were not in a place to receive it. And had I not been there, they wouldn't have heard what God gave me to give them. They wouldn't have heard it had I just stayed where I'm at. So listen to me. It's a lot. And I'm going to tell you something too. It costs. It costs. Because it's no podcast in my city. Ain't no podcast in my city. The podcasts are in Atlanta. That's another state from me. LA, New York, and other big cities, Houston, DC. So I got to fly. And I'll have to fly first class because my mind has stretched to that level. And once, like Oliver Wendell Holmes says, once the mind stretches to a new dimension, it can't return to its original form. So because I done stretched my mind to first class, I can't be put, I struggle in economy. I can only ride economy if I have to. But if I got a choice, and if I can afford it, I got to ride first class. Because once you done seen it, now your mind know how to create it, how to go get it. And I ain't the only one teaching that, but I live it though. Now, I done rode private on a private jet, but I can't afford it. So I could want it all I want to, but I'm not there yet to be able to do that all the time. And so I fly first class. And now if I can't afford first class, then I fly Southwest or JetBlue, who don't really have a first class, but they got, JetBlue got a nice plane. So it cost me on that flight. Or I got to drive. And I live about 7 hours from Atlanta. So if I have to drive, that costs me time, them 7 hours. Then hotel. And if I take somebody with me, I'm taking a guy with me, whether it's a mentee, my father, security. I don't believe in sharing rooms anymore with a grown man because I done got, Lord elevated me to where I can afford my room and afford them a room. And I'd rather snore in peace and let them snore in peace. Instead of us having a symphony, battle of the bands, snoring and waking each other up. And so that's another expense. Then being away from home. The day before I got to travel, the day of I got to be there. Sometimes I get to travel back that same day, or sometimes the next day I travel. So a lot of trips take 3 days from you. Now I have to reschedule coaching sessions because those are one-on-one sessions that somebody has paid for. And I got to move that around, which is costing me money because I'm taking a session that was blocked off and I'm moving it to another day that's taken away from another session. So now one person has taken up 2 hours, but only paid for 1 because of me having to go and share the message. And so that is why the ministers take up tithes and offering, because of what they are giving and what they are losing and what they are sacrificing to spread a word. And that is why I have memberships, Patreon, because it's a group of people. It's only 200 people out of 400,000. That right there is a lesson in itself too. My Patreon is 200 supporters who support me $5 to $50 a month. And it's 200, last I looked, it could have been 204 or 207 people out of the 1 million plus that watch my videos every month. That is a lesson. That's a microcosm of life. And what it says to you is that you're not going to have a lot of support. And so you can't wait on and be mad about not having 5% support, 10% support. People always would pitch out numbers to me and say, Tony, if you start this over here, like that, let's use Patreon, for example. If you start this Patreon and you say, hey, y'all support the ministry, support the message, you at least 10% gonna sign up. So they think 40,000 of the 400,000 subscribers that I have is gonna sign up on Patreon. People got their own problems. It's like, Tony look like he doing good. I'm over here in the struggle. I'm not finna support him. Absolutely not. He need to support me for watching all these videos. And so because that is the common mindset, I got 200 supporters on Patreon. because the minimum thing is $5. And that's what they suggest you put your minimum when you sign up. They tell you how to set it up. And then on the Blessed Tribe, I got a lot more supporters. Last I checked, I think it was 2,700. And that's a lot of people. And I think from that, I think I get $1.40 per person if their payment go through. So you can have that many people, but not everybody payment gonna go through. And that's a blessing. That is a blessing. But again, too, with that, it's more perks. You know, as far as being the only one to be able to chat when I go live, and you know, having the badge. But it's really just support. It's just support. And so I want to say to y'all that, like right now, I'm doing the office space, and I'm gonna have a podcast room in there. I'm gonna have a room where you can shoot your courses, get your headshot done. I'm gonna have an office in there, maybe like a little conference room area. And the first round of that is costing me, just before furniture, before floors, just the walls and painting, and just prepping it, closing off the plumbing lines, it's costing me $13,400. And then the floor is about to cost $4,500. And then I got to furnish it. And that furniture, it's gonna be around, all the equipment and all of that, it's gonna run me up to about $50,000. And so I want you to understand that the support is greatly appreciated, and it's utilized to further the mission and the message. And I don't, you know, come on here and beg. And I don't have all my Cash App on the bottom of the video and all in the description like I should have, like most other YouTubers have, because I just don't like operating from a space of having my hand out. I'd rather give and then let who God touch their heart to be a blessing, let God touch their heart, versus me, you know, putting pressure and things of that nature. So I say that to say to those of you who are in the Blessed Tribe, to those of you who watch the videos and let the ad play, because that pays me as well. To those of you who on Patreon, to those of you who sign up for coaching. And here's my thing. I never want a donation. I would rather you go to TonyGastinsAcademy.com and buy a course. God bless the Lord. You got to tell the Lord thank you. This man shadow boxing the air. Now he crossing the street and drop kicking the air. He walking a dog, but I don't know if it's his dog or if it's a stray dog that he walking. But Lord, I just want to say thank you. And Lord, well, I'm saying thank you now, Lord. Please keep me in my 50s and 60s, because the way my brain feeling right now, I'm like, Lord, y'all pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. Because I do not want to be out here drop kicking this air, crossing the street, walking a stray dog. Lord bless him. Give him what he needs, Lord. This man gonna get my video copyright out here playing his music. Hurry up, get him around here, man. If my video went silent right then a little bit, it's because I had to cut that song out that man was playing by Whitney Houston with all that bass in a big truck. That's an oxymoron. Hey, listen to me though, but I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you. And I don't want to say people's name, because sometimes people don't be wanting people to know. And but this one person who every month support me. Every month support, just send me a blessing. And I'm like, Lord, look here. My goodness. My goodness. Lord, what you doing? So, hey, think on this now. God bless you. We'll talk soon.